Well, good morning everyone. Today I'm fortunate enough to be allowed on the BMW Demo Day. The 2015 R1200GS Adventure Series is the bike that I'll be testing today. And according to the website, we will be going on a 80-kilometer tour, including city, back roads, country, highway. No dirt or gravel, I believe, just pavement. But it should be quite the experience. We're good.
All good?
Yep. This should be fun. No, thanks again for this. So.
Yeah, you're on.
Sweet.
I'll check for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Do you find that one has kind of some drift from the top though, hey?
I haven't tried on the top. I just put it on tonight or last night, so yeah, it should be. I've ridden with it on the way here and it was fine. Yeah. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to this. So. Gentlemen. This is my very first ride on a BMW bike ever, and I have to say I am more than impressed right now. This is truly phenomenal. So right now I'm on the 2015 R1200GS, and I could not be happier. And that was embarrassing. I stalled it. Not used to, not used to quite this clutch yet. Let it out a little bit quick. I know on the VFR you can let it out, quite a ways before it actually engages. Turns out this one is very fast engagement. So that was a little embarrassing. Probably gonna be the only one of the day that does it. Gear indicator. See, that's the one thing that I've always missed on any bike I've ever ridden. It's a gear indicator. When you have an engine that it's very difficult to hear the exhaust note on, such as this one, and you have something that's so smooth in your power delivery, sometimes it's difficult to tell whether or not you're in a low RPM range, a higher RPM range, and so to have that gear indicator is a really nice feature to have. Just a quick glance down, it's a great big number. I can look down, oh look, 5th gear. And it's immediate, you look down, it's there. I hate to say it, Yamaha, but I may have been converted. I now understand why people buy these bikes. You could sit on them forever. Watching the long way down and long way around, I thought, why would they not go with, a more, a less expensive bikes that are able to put on more accessories. I suppose they had more budget, but this is absolutely phenomenal. I understand why they were able to go and do the things that they did for so long without having to worry. Power comes on so smooth. And the ride is phenomenal. The turn in is immediate. It's almost as though you just think you want to go around the corner and the bike does what you want it to do. Now this bike wet weighs around 576 pounds fully fueled. When I got on this, it still had all of its, all full tank basically, and it's the exact same weight as my VFR with saddlebags. And the one thing I notice now is how, hey, music off. The one thing that I notice now is just how light this bike feels. Yes, it's a heavier bike, but you don't notice it. A lot of the weight is really down low. So once you get up in the RPMs, usually up around 4,000, holy fuck! That's some immediate power, all right. So once you get up in the RPMs, you can feel the engine vibration more. It's a little bit easier to tell what gear you're in. The engine braking it's a lot less than what I thought it would be. For a large displacement kind of two-cylinder, I thought that the engine braking would have been a lot more substantial, but it's not. You roll off the throttle and you just keep going. There is some, but at these lower RPMs, it's quite minimal compared to the VFR. Now I'm using the VFR as a comparison, mostly because I don't have any other bikes that I ride regularly that I can compare it to. The VFR itself is a great kind of all-around bike. It does all things well, but it does nothing perfectly. And I think this is one of those bikes. It feels like it can do everything, but everything perfectly. And for me personally, the purpose of this demo day ride is eventually, within the next year or so, I want to really get into the adventure touring. I want to be able to come to a road and just keep going. I don't want to have to stop and turn around or turn back because, oh no, there's some dirt or there's some gravel, or oh no, the bridge is out and they made one out of dirt. Well, on the VFR, yeah, I might be able to make it passable, but on something like an adventure touring, you don't have to worry. You just go. And that's what I really want, is something where I don't have to stop for anything. I can just go. And the one thing I really like about this adventure edition is that apparently it has a 33-liter gas tank with about a 700-kilometer range per fill-up. That's just nuts. One thing that I've noticed is that the mirrors are a lot wider than what I'm used to, and they're able to see past my shoulders. Now I have fairly wide shoulders, And oftentimes sitting on a sport or sport touring bike, I have difficulty seeing past them, and I either need, you know, extensions or to adjust them in weird ways with blind spot mirrors and that sort of thing. But these ones actually, I can still see a bit of my shoulder, but I can see the full lane behind me on both sides, which as far as my left mirror is concerned on my bike, I have somewhat of difficulty doing that, whereas this one, it's super easy. Going up this hill in third, you can really feel that low end grunt kicking in. It wants to lift that front end up, but it's still really smooth, so it's super controllable. A couple things that I've noticed so far, the braking when you're coming up to a stop, I only need 2 fingers on that front lever. Sometimes I'm used to grab it with all 4. This one, it's extremely light. It's a very light pull. The rear brake activates almost instantly. I'm used to riding with link brakes, so it's a little bit it's a little different, but it's not too bad. The other thing is how light the clutch is. I have no idea how BMW managed to get the clutch that light, but whatever they did, kudos to them. Like, it's an extremely lightweight clutch. Very, very easy to pull, so I don't know if they have a hydraulic assist or what they have. There's that engine braking. Okay, so earlier in the video I said that this bike doesn't have a lot of engine braking. Well, I retract that statement. Once you have the RPMs up above 4,000, when you roll off the throttle, you definitely notice the engine braking. So lower RPM is not as noticeable as the higher RPMs. When you do that roll off, it's almost like you're dragging your back brake. Oh, there we go. That's better. I was going to say the seat felt slightly uncomfortable, but I was sitting too far forward. So now that that's been fixed, much more comfortable. And I remember, I mentioned it earlier, but once again, this turn-in is just beautiful. You don't really have to think about it. You just look into the turn and away you go. Instant pull, instant torque.